Okay, so Apple have now released the MacBook Air with the M3 CPU. I guess a lot of people are questioning if they are going to use it for music production. Yeah, I thought we could just take a look at what Apple actually have released here and see what we can take out from that. So if you see on the Apple website here now, you can order the 13-inch with the M2 chip. They have actually reduced the price a little bit on that one. You have the 13-inch with the M3 chip, which I have on the screen here, and you also have the 15-inch with the M3 chip as well. You can take a look at that later on. You can see the options here. You have the basic colors here. You have midnight, you have starlight, space gray, and silver, and you have these three options here. So the first one is the 8-core CPU and 8-core GPU. With 8 gigs of memory and only 256 gigabytes of storage. That's pretty low, but anyway, the price is $10.99 in US dollars. Then we have the middle one here, 8-core CPU, so still probably the same CPU. We have to take a look at that later here. 8 gigs of memory, double the storage to 500 gigabytes or 512. And the price is $12.99. Then the other one here is 8-core CPU, 10-core GPU, 16 gigs of memory with the same storage, and it's $14.99. So if we just select one of these, let's select the lowest end one, the cheapest one here. Okay, so doesn't say performance or efficiency cores here. That's what we are interested in. 8 gigs of memory is pretty, yeah, it could work. Let's see here. So you can upgrade it to a higher GPU core CPU for $100. You can also upgrade the memory up to 24 gigabytes on this one. That will cost you $400. And again, the storage prices of Apple products are insane. But again, it is high quality storage. It's fast, but you know, it's expensive. So, you know, I don't see any technical information on Apple website, so we have to see if we can find anything here. So what I can gather from the Apple website here, it seems like the M3 chip in the MacBook Air is the same 8-core CPU with 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores on every CPU option here. At least on the 13-inch one. We can take a look at the 15-inch and see what's says on the Apple website, but the differences here are that you can have 2 more GPU cores on the upgraded one, so you get a little more media boost, if you will, if you're video editing or using Photoshop and or software that utilizes the GPU cores. But you can see here on these MacBook Airs, the M3 chips, it's actually the same, more or less the same CPU, no CPU, so they don't have the same amount of performance cores and efficiency cores, and that's what's going to matter most in music production. But if we look at the 15-inch here, we can see that it has still the 8-core CPU, 10-core GPU, same here, 8 gigs of memory, 16 gigabytes of memory. So let's take a look at the technical specification first on the 15-inch here. What they have here. Yeah, so it's the same thing. It's 8-core CPU with 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores on the MacBook Air. So it doesn't seem like Apple have added more performance cores to the MacBook Air lineup. You have to probably go and buy the MacBook Pro or some other kind of laptop for that, because you need more cooling, and since the MacBook Air is passively cooled, they don't have any fans, you would probably not see a higher end CPU. But yeah, this is the prices. So you can so the 15-inch you can configure up to, let's say, you can add 24 gigabytes of memory for $200. The default is 512 gigs of storage. You can add 1 terabyte for 200 more, so you're up to $2,100. You can add 2 more terabytes for $400. You can also add another power adapter for 70 watts if you want. The 35 watt is a dual one, so you can charge 2 things at the same time. So yeah, I don't know what I can say about the prices, because the prices differ a lot here from where I live in Norway. So I don't know if this price is with taxes or not. Where I live, you have to put the price with tax. So if I convert this to dollars, so this is the same one. So this is $10.99 and this is $15,490. The price is $1,468 if I'm going to buy it. This is with tax. So this is the cheapest one, and I feel that it's I don't know, it's an expensive laptop for sure, and I'm not really sure if you know, 8-core CPU, 8 gigs of memory and 256 gigs of SSD. That's not a lot of memory, not a lot of SSD, and you know, it costs, well, I could live with this price if this is the actual price you pay, but I don't know if that's correct. And if this is the price you pay also without or with tax, I would accept this price is all right, maybe. But you see here, it's almost $2,000 in my currency, my bad currency. I get a lot of people asking if they can use this for music production. Then obviously you can. It's just about having a good CPU hygiene. I mean, you don't have to perhaps use effects on each and every track. You can use return tracks, things like that. You can freeze tracks. I mean, I'm going to test the M1 MacBook Air, the cheapest one, when I can borrow it from my wife and see how it works in Ableton 12, which just got released as well. We can also take a look at some more information here. Something that was pretty interesting is that you can actually use 2 screens on the new MacBook Air. So you can have 2 external displays with the lid closed. And yeah, this is going to be interesting in terms of the MacBook Pro. Apple also reduced the starting price of the 13-inch MacBook Air with the M2 chip by $100, so that might be a good choice for some people. So certainly you will be able to use it for music production. It's a powerful machine, even with its MacBook Air and without its fan. It's still able to do some quite good amount of demanding work. You can't expect to be running 100 tracks projects in Logic or in Ableton Live, or maybe even 50 tracks, maybe depending on what you have on these tracks. I mean, if you have just WAV files, audio files, yeah, it might be work much better. It depends on how you produce your music. If you just record music with a microphone and just add up tracks that way, and you don't use, let's say, software synthesizers or a lot of plugins which use up a lot of CPU power, it might work just fine. I mean, it's how your workflow is that decides if these computers are going to work for you or not, and that's not something I can really answer. That's something you have to answer yourself. What do you think about the price? Do you think it's a fair price? Do you think Apple is charging too much for SSD or charging too much for memory? I know what I think, but let me know in the comments below, and thank you for following. See you in the next one. Goodbye.